Hi everyone! In this video we're going to finally start attaching some numbers to angles, and we're going to start with the unit system for angles that you're probably most familiar and comfortable with. It is actually not the one that we're going to use the most this quarter, but I just want to give you somewhere to start wrapping your head around this that you're probably already somewhat good at. If not, no worries, you'll get there quickly. Please, as you're studying this, work for fluency. I don't want you to have a labeled circle sitting there for you to figure out where these angles are. You want to try and get to the point where it's just semi-easy for you to visualize where your terminal side is given an angle. So, degree measure is going to be our first one, and degree measure is entirely based on the fact that one full rotation is 360 degrees. It's certainly not the only choice. But it is a very convenient choice for us because 360 is divisible by a whole lot of numbers. So it makes it really nice and easy to mentally split this up into nice fractions. Okay, so 360 degrees all the way around. So assuming you have a little bit of familiarity with this, I think it would be great if you would just pause here and quickly try and show the angles 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 45 degrees, just as a starting place. Okay, so I'll go through those here. So again, our initial side is going to be the positive x-axis. You don't have to draw anything there, but just so that we can kind of visualize this. If we have 360 degrees as a full rotation, notice that 360 divided by 4 is 90 degrees. So this is 1/4 of the way around the entire circle, which conveniently our axes split this into quarters. So halfway around would be the negative x-axis, and 1/4 of the way around is the positive y-axis. So this is positive 90 degrees. Notice that just like before, I didn't ask you for this, but if you wanted negative 90 degrees, same rotation, opposite direction, and 90 degrees. Okay, for 180 degrees, I kind of already said that one, 360 divided by 2 is going to give us our 180, so it's a halfway around the circle. So if we're starting from the positive x-axis and we rotate half of a full revolution, we're going to hit the negative x-axis. That's a positive 180 degrees. And again, if you were asked to, you could do negative 180 degrees. There are other names for these two. Maybe I'll mention them now. They kind of, I don't know, come up a little more maybe with triangles, but not really for these two, I guess. Yes, for 90. So 90 degrees, you may already know, is called a right angle, and we use this little square in the corner to denote right angles, kind of a shorthand for that. So that's a right angle. And it doesn't matter positive or negative, just right angle is 90 degrees. 180 degrees is a straight angle. So notice I didn't actually list this as vocab, and I wouldn't really consider it like memorized level vocab here, but there are things that I just want to mention that hopefully kind of stick in your head. 45 degrees, off the top of my head, I don't know a special name for this one, but it is a really nice angle to be comfortable with. Notice that 45 is half of 90, so we know that this would give us 90 degrees. If we went half that rotation, it should go exactly straight down the middle. That's probably not perfect, but it's my best attempt. Of quadrant 1. So if you picture the line y equals x with the slope of 1, that one goes exactly right in between the x and y axes. That is your 45 degree angle. And again, if you were asked for negative 45, that's too shallow, it would look like sort of like that. Okay, so this is really how we're going to work everything, negative 45. We want to get so that we can kind of break this up into fractions. So 45's multiples of 45 degrees are going to be really handy. It's also easy to break this up into multiples of 30 degrees. 30 degrees is going to be, so once I get down to, I know what 90 looks like, I think that's actually an easier one to start with. So this is 1/3 of a 90 degree angle. would give us 30 degrees, so that'll be a little lower than 45, a third of the way through the first quadrant. And if anyone needs a refresher, this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and over here is quadrant 4. That is something that we'll use a little bit this quarter, just to give us some common vocab. I don't really like to have any more vocab than I need to, but we need some common wording so that we can talk about certain things.